Your body is not random. Your symptoms are not random. Your emotional crashes are not random. Your digestion, sleep, hormones, anxiety, inflammation, skin reactions, pelvic heaviness, chest tightness, and sudden energy drops are not separate stories. In Amanda's chart, they are one connected system, and the center of that system is very clear. Cancer Lagna with the moon placed in the 8th house in Aquarius, in Shatabhisha Nakshatra. That alone tells me this is not a simple health chart. This is a chart where the body becomes a detector of hidden stress. You may not always get sick from obvious causes. You may get sick when you have absorbed too much, suppressed too much, tolerated too much, and stayed silent for too long. This is a body that listens before the mind admits the truth. Cancer rising makes you emotionally absorbent. Your body takes in moods, environments, people, rooms, family stress, relationship pressure, and unspoken emotional tension. You are not built like someone who can live in chaos and just shake it off. You may look functional on the outside, but internally your nervous system records everything. And then the moon, which rules your lagna, goes into the 8th house. That is the raw signature. The lagna is your constitution, vitality, physical body, brain, immunity, and life force. The 8th house is hidden disease, chronic conditions, toxins, reproductive organs, urinary tract, endocrine disruption, sudden health events, psychological depth, trauma memory, and things that are difficult to diagnose quickly. So when the moon, your body ruler, sits in the 8th, your health becomes deeply tied to emotional secrecy, hidden fear, unresolved shock, nervous system overload, and suppressed vulnerability. You may not break loudly, you may disappear quietly, you may not scream, your digestion screams, you may not cry, your sleep breaks, you may not confront, your hormones shift, you may not admit stress, your skin, gut, chest, bladder, or cycle starts talking. This is why your first health rule is simple: never ignore small symptoms. In this chart, the body whispers before it shouts. But if you keep overriding the whisper, the 8th house turns it into a crisis. Now let's talk doshas. Amanda's chart shows a dominant Vata-Pitta imbalance with Kapha blockage. Vata is strong because of the 8th house moon, Rahu in Aries, Saturn joins Sun and Mercury, and the overall nervous intensity of the chart. Vata creates movement, sensitivity, nerve impulse, fear response, irregularity, dryness, insomnia, constipation, tremors, anxiety, scattered thoughts, and sudden energy collapse. When Vata is disturbed, your body becomes unpredictable. One day you feel okay. Next day you feel depleted. One night you sleep. Next night your mind will not switch off. 1 week digestion works. Next week bloating, gas, constipation, cramps, or appetite irregularity appears. That is Vata speaking. Pitta is also strong because this is a Tuesday birth, Shukla Ashtami Taithi, Mars in Virgo, Sun in Scorpio, and Rahu in Aries. Pitta gives heat, inflammation, acidity, sharpness, liver load, bile disturbance, skin eruptions, ulcers, migraines, irritation, anger, competitiveness, and the urge to push harder when the body is asking for rest. So Vata makes the system unstable, Pitta makes it hot, and Kapha, instead of being stable nourishment, becomes blocked through Jupiter in Capricorn and Venus, Ketu, in Libra. That can show as heaviness and pelvic congestion, lower back stiffness, lymphatic sluggishness, water retention, sugar cravings, emotional comfort seeking, and then sudden detachment. So the pattern is not just weak health, it is more specific. Vata dries you, Pitta inflames you, Kapha stagnates you. That is the tridosha trap. Your chart does not tolerate extremes. Extreme fasting, extreme workouts, extreme emotional suppression, extreme work pressure, extreme spicy food, extreme cold food, extreme late nights, all of these disturb the system. You need rhythm, not intensity. Now, the moon in Shatabhisha is important. Shatabhisha is the nakshatra of healing, disease research, isolation, systems, medicine, psychology, alternative healing, hidden diagnosis, and the wounded healer archetype. This placement can make you extremely perceptive about what is wrong in yourself and others. You may sense patterns before people explain them. You may be drawn to healing, astrology, psychology, medicine, trauma work, or energy systems. But the shadow is emotional isolation. You may study your pain instead of feeling it. You may analyze your wounds instead of releasing them. You may become very good at detecting problems, but not always good at letting someone care for you. The moon in the 8th can create emotional self-protection. It can make trust difficult. It can make vulnerability feel dangerous. It can create a private inner world where you process everything alone, but the body pays for that privacy. This placement can show anxiety, disturbed sleep, emotional numbness, dissociation, hormonal sensitivity, urinary issues, reproductive irregularity, lymphatic stagnation, water retention, sudden mood withdrawals, and unexplained flare-ups. And because this is Aquarius, the mind may become detached, technical, observational. You may say, "I'm fine," while the body is clearly not fine. Now look at the fifth house. This is one of the most loaded health zones in the chart. Sun, Saturn, and retrograde Mercury in Scorpio in the fifth house. The fifth house governs digestion, stomach, liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, central abdomen, reproductive hormones, memory, and creative intelligence. This is where food becomes energy, emotion becomes memory, and experience becomes internal chemistry. With Sun here, there is heat. With Saturn here, there is coldness, dryness, delay, and chronicity. With Mercury retrograde here, there is nervous digestion, overthinking, psychosomatic processing, and mental loops. So the gut receives 3 different signals: burn, freeze, and analyze. That is not easy. This can produce acidity with bloating, constipation with burning, appetite irregularity, stress-induced stomach pain, liver heat, gallbladder sensitivity, blood sugar fluctuations, skin issues connected to digestion, and gut symptoms triggered by anxiety or emotional intensity. Scorpio makes this deeper. Scorpio does not digest lightly. Scorpio stores. Scorpio remembers. Scorpio hides. Scorpio holds old emotional toxins. So your digestive system may not only be reacting to food, it may be reacting to memory, fear, betrayal, control, secrecy, grief, resentment, or emotional intensity that was never fully processed. This is the raw point. Your gut is your emotional vault. If you keep storing what should be released, the gut becomes the battlefield. Saturn in the fifth can also show seriousness around joy. It can make relaxation difficult. It can make the person feel guilty for pleasure. It can delay easy creativity. It can create a body that tightens when it should soften. Sun in Scorpio adds intensity and control. Mercury retrograde adds repetitive thinking. Together, this can create a pattern where your mind keeps returning to the same unresolved emotional material and your digestion mirrors that repetition. Now, Mars in Virgo in the third house adds another sharp layer. Mars in Virgo is precise, critical, technical, corrective, and inflammatory. The third house rules hands, shoulders, arms, neck, courage, communication, effort, reflexes, and nervous coordination. This can give excellent problem-solving ability, discipline, execution power, and the ability to act under pressure. But physically, it can show neck stiffness, shoulder tension, jaw clenching, headaches from muscle tightness, wrist or hand strain, inflammatory nerve pain, overuse injuries, and irritation from too much mental or physical effort. Virgo is also connected to health routines, digestion, hygiene, analysis, service, and correction. Mars here wants to fix everything. But if every day becomes a correction project, the nervous system never rests. This placement can make you hard on yourself. You may not simply think, "I need to improve." You may think, "Something is wrong and I must fix it now." That creates constant internal emergency. Mars in Virgo is useful when disciplined. It is destructive when obsessive. For health, this means you need movement, but not punishment. You need strength, but not aggression. You need routine, but not perfectionism. Now let's look at Venus and Ketu in Libra in the fourth house. This is subtle, but very important. The fourth house rules emotional peace, chest, lungs, heart field, breasts, upper spine, water retention, home environment, motherline patterns, limbic system, vagus nerve, and deep emotional safety. Venus in Libra is strong. It wants beauty, harmony, love, refinement, music, aesthetics, balance, clean surroundings, affection, and relational peace. This is a healing placement when honored properly. Your home, bedroom, colors, sounds, scents, and emotional environment matter more than you may admit. A harsh home drains you. Clutter drains you. Conflict in the house drains you. Coldness in relationships drains you. Ugly surroundings drain you. But Ketu with Venus cuts the pleasure field. It can create detachment from comfort, difficulty receiving love, irregular intimacy patterns, emotional withdrawal, relationship disillusionment, hormonal sensitivity, urinary or kidney vulnerability, reproductive depletion, pelvic tension, or a strange pattern where you crave closeness, but then pull away when closeness becomes too real. This combination says, love is medicine, but attachment can feel unsafe. So the body may hold grief in the chest, tension in the upper back, and vulnerability in the lower abdomen. Venus also connects to kidneys, bladder, reproductive organs, hormones, sensuality, medicines, refined foods, sweetness, and beauty. K2 reduces, detaches, dries, and creates deficiency. So here we must watch hydration, urinary health, pelvic relaxation, hormonal balance, and emotional receptivity. This is not a chart where love is casual. Emotional disharmony becomes physical disharmony. Now, Jupiter in Capricorn in the 7th house. The 7th house governs pelvis, large intestine, lower back, kidneys, sexual organs, libido, gonadal hormones, and relationship dynamics. Jupiter normally nourishes, expands, protects, and builds tissue. But in Capricorn, Jupiter is restrained. It cannot give its full easy nourishment. This can show lower abdominal heaviness, pelvic stagnation, lower back stiffness, relationship stress affecting hormones, sluggish metabolism, sugar or fat metabolism issues, weight fluctuations, or reproductive endocrine delays. Jupiter in the 7th also says partnership is not just emotional. It affects physiology. The wrong relationship dynamic can create body heaviness. Carrying another person's emotional burden can sit in the pelvis and lower back. Overgiving, over-explaining, over-tolerating, or trying to be mature all the time can become somatic. This placement needs boundaries, not coldness. Boundaries. Because without boundaries, Jupiter in the 7th can overcarry, and Capricorn will make that burden heavy. Now, Rahu in Aries in the 10th house is a major pressure signature. Rahu in Aries wants speed, visibility, achievement, conquest, recognition, urgency, and independence. In the 10th house, this becomes career pressure, public performance, ambition, social image, and the constant feeling that you must do more. This is adrenal overdrive. This can create burnout, blood pressure spikes under stress, headaches, eye strain, inflammatory flares, skin eruptions, impulsive decisions, late-night work, sleep disruption, and inability to switch off. Rahu in Aries does not know moderation. It says now, faster, more. Prove it when. But Cancer Lagna and Moon in the 8th cannot live like that forever. So there is a conflict. The outer life wants acceleration. The inner body wants safety. If you keep obeying Rahu, the moon collapses. That means if you live through urgency, pressure, ambition, visibility, comparison, and performance anxiety, your health will start breaking from the inside. Your body is not weak, it is overloaded. Now the Panchanga confirms everything. Shukla Ashtami is a Mars-ruled crisis-bearing Tithi. This gives courage, depth, intensity, endurance, and the ability to face difficult truths. But it also brings conflict, volatility, rupture, emotional warfare, and transformation through pressure. This is not a soft Tithi. It gives survival strength, but it can normalize crisis. You may be too used to functioning under pressure. You may not realize that peace feels unfamiliar because your system has learned intensity as normal. Tuesday birth adds more Mars, more heat, more action, more irritability when blocked, more inflammation when suppressed, more courage, yes, but also more internal fire. Vayagata yoga is even more direct. It is the yoga of impact, strike, counterattack, survival instinct, and combative response. Its light is resilience. Its shadow is sabotage, especially self-sabotage through conflict, defensiveness, resentment, or living as if life is always against you. This matters because Vayagata is Venus-linked, and Venus sits with Ketu in the 4th house. That means emotional peace and relationship softness are not optional. They are health remedies. When you live in emotional combat, the heart field closes. When the heart field closes, the nervous system tightens. When the nervous system tightens, digestion, sleep, hormones, and immunity suffer. Bhavakarana gives the ability to act, build, grow, move, and manifest. But in this chart, action must be steady, not frantic, not compulsive, not driven by fear. So what are the main health outcomes to watch? First, nervous system and sleep, insomnia, anxiety, restless sleep, emotional numbness, sudden fear, overthinking, sensory overload, and difficulty switching off. Your mind needs predictable rhythm. Your body needs evening softness. Screens, arguments, late meals, and intense work at night are not harmless for you. Second, gut, liver, pancreas, acidity, bloating, constipation, appetite swings, IBS-like patterns, liver heat, gallbladder irritation, sugar crashes, digestive inflammation, and stress-related stomach issues. Your digestion needs warmth, timing, and calm. It does not need punishment diets. Third, hormones, pelvis, urinary system. Cycle irregularity, PMS intensity, pelvic heaviness, lower back stiffness, urinary sensitivity, kidney bladder issues, libido fluctuations, and emotional disconnect from the lower body. You must hydrate properly, maintain mineral balance, and stop treating pelvic tension as normal. Fourth, inflammation, skin and blood pressure. Rashes, acne, heat eruptions, headaches, inflammatory pain, pressure spikes, ulcers, and anger-related symptoms. Your fire must be directed, not suppressed. Fifth, chest, heart field, vagus nerve. Chest tightness, shallow breathing, upper back tension, grief held silently, and emotional shutdown. Your breath is medicine. Your voice is medicine. Singing, chanting, humming, and slow exhalation are not decorative practices for you. They regulate the system. Now let's be practical. Your food should be warm, cooked, grounding, and easy to digest. Not cold smoothies every morning. Not raw salads when your gut is anxious. Not skipping meals because you are busy. Not surviving on coffee and willpower. Not spicy, fried, late-night food and then wondering why the body is inflamed. Best pattern: cooked meals, soups, stews, khichdi-style food, mung dal, rice, root vegetables, small amounts of ghee if tolerated, cumin, coriander, fennel, turmeric, cardamom, cooked apples, pomegranate, soaked almonds, mineral-rich hydration, and regular protein. Reduce refined sugar, alcohol, excess coffee, smoking, vaping, processed foods, deep-fried foods, too much chili, late-night meals, and emotional eating. For supplements, do not guess blindly. Test where possible. But the chart suggests checking magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, iron, ferritin, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, electrolytes, and gut-supportive nutrition if tolerated. Especially with Moon in the 8th and the 5th house loaded, testing is wiser than speculation. The lifestyle correction is clear. Same sleep time, same wake time. Warm breakfast or at least early nourishment. Daily walking or gentle strength. Hip mobility. Neck and shoulder release. Breath work. Evening screen reduction. Warm oil massage. Journaling before the mind turns into a courtroom. Emotional honesty before resentment becomes disease. And most importantly, stop making crisis your identity. You are built for deep healing, research, transformation, and survival. But survival is not the same as wellness. This chart can make you powerful in emergencies, but the real spiritual and physical evolution is learning how to live when there is no emergency. That is the medicine. Your body does not need more pressure. It needs rhythm. Your mind does not need more analysis. It needs safety. Your gut does not need more restriction. It needs trust. Your hormones do not need more chaos. They need consistency. Your heart does not need more defense. It needs softness without self-abandonment. The final verdict is simple and sharp. Amanda's chart shows a person whose health is governed by the hidden emotional body. The major vulnerable zones are gut, sleep, hormones, urinary-pelvic axis, skin inflammation, chest-heart tension, and nervous system regulation. The biggest enemies are emotional suppression, overwork, irregular food, irregular sleep, unresolved anger, toxic relationship dynamics, and living in constant urgency. The biggest medicines are rhythm, warmth, hydration, boundaries, clean food, steady movement, beauty in the home, emotional truth, and nervous system safety. And this is why a health reading matters. Because the chart does not just say, you may have digestion issues or you may have stress. That is too shallow. The chart shows the architecture, where the pressure enters, where the body stores it, which dosha gets disturbed, which planet activates the pattern, which house shows the body zone, and what lifestyle either heals it or makes it worse. So if this reading speaks to you, if you recognize this pattern of functioning, collapsing, recovering, hiding, pushing, and then wondering why the body keeps sending alarms, get a proper health and wellness reading. Not a generic one. One that reads your planetary placements, doshas, panchanga, house activations, emotional body, and physical risk zones together. Because your body is not random. Your symptoms are signals. And once you learn the language of those signals, you stop fighting your body and you start working with it.